Ah, Thanos got an ugly girlfriend! Ah!
Hey guys, it's DC. Welcome back to another installment of the Big Unboxing Show. So some of you guys might know I've been uploading a lot of these comic book and statue videos to my other channel, DT's Geek Show. So if you like these kind of videos, make sure to head over there and subscribe. But today we've got these two big boxes, one of my most anticipated items of 2020, so I thought it was really cool, so I wanted to share it with you guys on this channel. So this is the new XM Studios Thanos and Lady Death quarter scale figures. I ordered this right after it was revealed last year at the Singapore Comic-Con, and it finally made it here. Express shipping on these two boxes was close to $1,000. This one weighs about 70 pounds, and this one weighs 50 pounds. I opted for economy shipping. It took a little bit longer, but I wound up saving almost enough to buy a new statue. So I was gonna have Evan join me on this video, but right now he is studying for finals. But he will be joining us later in the video along with the rest of the family as they give us their thoughts on this piece as well. So these two big boxes are too big to open up here on the table, so I'm gonna bring them over to the floor and get them open. Let's do this. These boxes are heavy. Okay, so we're going to cut right to the chase, get to the big box. Here it is. And inside here, I believe we have some art prints. Here's a look at Thanos, Mistress Death, and then we also get our package contents, which I will be showing you in detail shortly. Okay, so here on the side, we have some information on our duo. Okay guys, and here's what we have in the top layer. We've got 3 different head sculpts, an infinity gauntlet, some hand switch outs, some bony pieces, and a bunch of ribs. Let's check out this infinity gauntlet. Look at the crazy detail on this one. And this thing is huge. Not quite as big as my hand, but it is pretty massive. Great detail on the gloves. We've got all the stones in there. Some nice texture on the armor. But if you don't want to use the gauntlet, we also have this hand option. And we've got these cool power effects. Looks pretty interesting. Then we have a matching right hand. And it looks like something keys into the palm on each of these as well. Might be these guys right here. Then we've got an empty right hand. Just everywhere you look, some really nice detail. Then we have a couple bony pieces. This looks like it might be a spine. We got an arm, the 3-fingered hand. Here we have Thanos' left arm. Look at how that blue glistens. There's a matching armor piece right here. And then we have this shoulder chest armor. Look at that detail. On the bottom, it's covered in felt. And we have the big key with the magnet right here. Another key for the portraits. Let's take a look at those portraits right now. So this is the screaming portrait. We don't see Thanos screaming too much, but this thing is awesome. He's got the red eyes. He's definitely enraged. Some really cool texture on his face. The next one is a helmetless portrait. He's got his teeth clenched. His eyes are blue in this one. We get a nice look at his bald head. And then we have portrait number 3, which is the grinning portrait. Here he's got some red in his eyes, and he's got that Thanos smirk going on. And then we have all of these ribs. Each one is color-coded, so hopefully it won't be too hard to figure out where these go. So that's pretty much everything we get in the top layer. So let's remove this and see what awaits us beneath. Okay, and here we have our bottom layer. We have our little plaque. So it looks like we get 1 plaque for both statues, Thanos and Lady Death. So before we get to the base and Thanos, we also have this little fallen Chitauri skull. We've got some bones protruding from his spine. Huge rocky base. We've got another skull here, and then we've got all these mechanical parts. It's like maybe some part of a ship. We've got part of the spine there, and then we have all the little color-coded keys for all the rib parts. And as you can see, there's a big cutout on the back, and that is where the Mistress Death base kind of butts up against it. And now on to the Mad Titan. Grab his leg. Whoa, this guy is heavy. All right, so I'm not gonna be able to show you guys too much of this right now because this guy is killing my arm, but Look at that. Crazy musculature. Very nice texture and detail on his body, on his suit. He's got some crazy boots. His boots have a weathered metal look to them. All right, I gotta put this guy down. He weighs too much. To finish off this box, we have his other arm. Let's move on to Mistress Death. Okay, and here we have box number 2. Still very large, but the smaller of the 2 boxes. And let's see what we get. Okay, and here's what we have on the top layer. We've got some purple and black smoke, very reminiscent of the gas that came with Mysterio. As you can see, there are little felt pads there. I guess where one might touch the other. Looks like there are some extra felt pads. So in this set, she comes with 2 portraits. Here is her face in more human-like form. You can see some hair in there, whited out eyes. She's kind of got this cloak on. If you bought the complete set, you get this one, which is the skull portrait. And this is kind of what most people picture when they picture death. Not a beautiful woman, but instead some kind of creepy skeleton. And then of course we have some hand options as well. We have the human hands. And then we have what I like to call the X-ray version, where we can see all the bones in those hands. Very cool, you can see all the little pores in the bones. We've got a skull, and then we've got another 3-fingered appendage. So that's gonna do it for this top layer. Let's see what we have underneath. Okay, and here's what we get in the bottom layer. So let's start off with this giant base. So Death's base is a little bit taller in order to get her to hover above Thanos. And surprisingly, it isn't that heavy. It's got a lot of those same rocky textures. There's a lot of orange in there. Looks very molten. Then we have some purple that ties in nicely with that smoke we saw earlier. Got more bones up there, the skull. And then over here we've got Death's body. Here we can see sort of the outline of her leg going up to her chest. And then she's got this very big peg on the bottom to help support her weight. And then we have 3 giant pieces of her robe. So I think this is what makes the Death statue stand out so much. Got some awesome color in there, nice textures. And then we have this part at the edge, which is all frayed and beaten up. Here's a look at the other side. And the most impressive part is that this is all sculpted. Here's a look at the second piece, and here's a look at the third piece. Sort of looks like a piece of black and purple beef jerky. And then for her base, we also get a bunch of ribs. All right guys, so that's gonna do it for the unboxing. Let's get all these pieces out on the table and put this thing together. Okay, so here they are, Marvel's power couple, Thanos and Death. So Thanos first appeared in the pages of the Invincible Iron Dude number 55 back in 1973. He looked a little bit different back then, not quite as bulky, and Death first appeared in Captain Marvel 26 later that year. She was basically Thanos' sidekick, and later on became the main reason Thanos wanted to collect all the Infinity Stones and destroy half the life in the universe. All of that was to impress Mistress Death. So his motivations were a little bit different than the ones we know from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay, so let's take a look at this monstrous statue. This thing is huge. We've got a rocky base on both of them. We've got all these little crevices and craters. Death's base does have a shinier sheen on some of those craters, but on both of them we have these fallen Chitauri. Their skeleton kind of has a metallic look to it, tons of little ribs. We also have these metal-looking pieces, maybe part of some kind of spacecraft. And you guys might be wondering, well, Thanos, isn't he friends with the Chitauri? Well, yeah, but like a lot of conquerors, in order to gain the respect of his followers, he has to show them who's boss. The one on Death's base is really cool. He's a skeleton, but he was caught reaching out with his right arm, almost like he got the flesh melted off of him. The assembly of this thing was pretty straightforward. There were a lot of these little ribs. Luckily, they were color-coded. However, I put an orange one where a pink one was supposed to go, and I had to pull each one out to check and see what I had missed. But just a lot of great detail in the base. All right, then we have Thanos here, and man, this guy is huge. Very well built, very muscular guy. So Thanos on Throne, he's obviously sitting down, and this one looks even more massive because this guy's actually standing up and he's on a platform. Just pretty much texture on every inch of this guy, and the details seem to never end. Just taking a look at these cool looking boots. We've got a bunch of different textures going on here. We've got the smooth metal armor. In between, we've got more of a mesh-like texture. We've got a leather texture kind of going around the back. Then we have all the straps tying everything together. Just a very well sculpted space boot. Moving up, Thanos has these cool knee pads. His suit has some really nice line details. The rest of his suit also has this stretchier mesh texture on some of the flexible areas of his suit. There is this one little flap that you have to attach to him, but his torso is pretty much one solid piece. The shoulder armor, as I showed you guys earlier, is super detailed. We've got all this spine reinforcement in the back. He's got these cool straps that go underneath his arm. So right now I've got him displayed with these power switch out hands. It's kind of got this purpley smoke electricity effect going on here. I think it looks really cool. I do really like this option. Thanos on Throne does have the Infinity Gauntlet, so this would be a nice departure from that. So even though he doesn't have the Infinity Gauntlet, these gloves here look pretty incredible. Super detailed, same nice paint that we see on the shoes and the armor. So one drawback of having these power effect hands is that we have a pretty large gap because the power effects here on the right hand prevent Death from getting any closer. If you put it any closer, it'll either hit her base or her legs. So we have to back her up in order to give those power effects a little bit more space. If we swap it out for this hand right here, we can move Death's base in pretty tight. So Death has this very cool purple and black smoke, and those tie in well with the black and purple on her cloak. I think they did a great job with the sculpt on her dress. We can't see her feet, but we can see all the little wrinkles, folds, and tears. I love how everything is kind of getting blown upwards. Gives her a nice floating appearance. Right now I have her with her human face and hands. Even though she appears as a skeleton a lot in the comic books, I really like this portrait because I think it gives Thanos' desire for her a little bit more believability. I think most people will prefer somebody with flesh on them to a skeleton. I guess Thanos finds this attractive, but to each his own. You can switch out her arms and keep her face here. It's kind of cool if you didn't want to go full skeleton, which we will do right now. So that is pretty freaky looking. So I think this is a pretty cool look as well. If you only had one Thanos, I think you'd want him to have the Infinity Gauntlet. So I almost forgot about this. This was in the box, but I didn't see it at the time. This is a remote control, and it's able to power on the gauntlet here. There are two different options. And here's number one. Looks like it lights up and stays on. And then we have the other option where the stones breathe. They kind of fade in and fade out. It looks pretty good without the light up as well. We have these very vibrant colors for the stones. And last but certainly not least, let's go over these head sculpts. I think I like this one the best. Kind of got his mouth wide open. His tongue, the inside of his mouth have a very glossy, wet look to it. The only thing is that his tongue is a little bit on the narrow side. His face has some pretty crazy looking texture, just like the Sideshow Thanos. I believe they used decals for the eyeballs, so I like this portrait a lot. Thanos isn't seen often screaming with his mouth open, so I think this captures a really cool moment in time. I definitely think this brings the most drama to this statue. We do have this more classic Thanos grin with the second portrait. I think this one looks pretty cool as well. Then we have the non-helmeted bald portrait. I prefer my Thanoses to have helmets. He does appear without his helmet in the comic books, but I think this one would be preferred by people that like the movie Thanos. Although this isn't a movie portrait, it does kind of give me those vibes when I see it on this statue. So one of the criticisms of this piece was that it wasn't quite comic book accurate enough. And I have to agree, if you're looking for comic book accuracy, this might not be the Thanos for you. However, in the comic book world, everything goes through an evolution of some sort. Almost nothing we see today is exactly how it looked 40 or 50 years ago, or even 10 years ago. And when it comes to comics, everything is an artist's interpretation. So even though Thanos hasn't appeared like this yet in a comic book, there's nothing to say that the next comic book artist couldn't take this Thanos design as inspiration when creating their next book. This was inspired by art, and this could very well inspire the next comic book art. So I know a lot of people were curious to know which one I thought was better, Sideshow or this guy, so I'm just gonna bring him out here. Another very heavy piece. Right now you're looking at my favorite part of the statue, which is the throne. Probably one of my favorite bases, if you call this a base. Okay, so here we have it, two of the best licensed Thanoses around. Both have sort of a modern look to them. So when it comes to the bases, I don't know, this is a pretty incredible base, but look at this throne. This thing is incredible. Thanos here isn't too shabby either. It's just that he's sitting on a chair where this guy is full of action. So looking at the feet and legs, this Thanos is definitely bigger than this one, but this guy wins in the hand department. And while his body may be a little big, their heads are pretty much equal in size. This one has a more matte, subdued paint finish, whereas this one really glistens in the light. We've got some nice texture going on here with his suit as well. But if you're looking for a lot of intricate details, nothing is gonna beat this guy right here. So anytime I do these comparisons, I don't want you to just take my word for it. So I'm gonna bring in Evan and the family and see what they think. Who is that?
This is Thanos, and this is Thanos. Who the heck is that? Some skeleton woman thing.
The Grim Reaper! Yeah, my favorite Marvel character, the Grim Reaper.
That's his girlfriend.
It is?
Yeah.
Since when? How is that his girlfriend? What if he snapped her out? Hey, look, this is probably his girlfriend's ex-boyfriend.
Explain that to me, I don't get it.
I don't think it's like Thanos' brother.
Brother, look at the body.
Oh, it's a female.
Why is his eyes all red?
He's called the Mad Titan.
Then why is he smiling in this one?
See a bunch of like skulls and bones and scary things. That's like screaming at me in the face, Thanos.
I like the purple and black smoke particle thingies that's coming from her. That's cool.
I like the base on this one better because it's like, has all these like skeletons. This one, it's just like a chair. It looks like a high-tech toilet. And this is where it deposits into the ocean.
I like his expression. He's like, yeah, baby.
Here's another option.
That's creepy. That's even creepier than the skeleton. You look scary.
I like that better.
The skeleton kind of fits with the whole theme because like there's a bunch of like bones and skeletons down there, but she looks really cool and she actually looks like more human. I also like the cape, how it's like kind of ripped up, but it like looks ripped.
I like his expression in this. Ow.
I like the stones better on this one. The stones better. They look more like jelly beans.
Why do they always make his teeth look so real? On the big Thanos statue, it looks so real.
This one's got more purple too, so that's good. Not blue, blurple.
Oh, wow, look at this. Oh, they're heavy. Oh no, he's more smiling in this one, isn't he? His teeth look so real. The detail on the teeth are amazing. I think I like this one. What's up with the chin? Explain that.
This one, he doesn't have the helmet. He's bald. It looks so weird. He looks more like an old man now. And the teeth! Oh, the teeth!
This is me when I'm on the toilet. That, it makes sense. He's like, R. But on here, he just crushed someone and he's like, look at that works. That works well. Out of the three, I like the one where he's yelling. That one's better. This is the best one. Whoa. I like, yeah. Because this is like really bright jelly beans.
They kind of look like Christmas lights. Ooh, this one's cool. It has like the lighter in the center and then darker on the outside. I want to see Thanos go like that and snap.
Jill's trying to do this.
Which one I like better? This one. It tells a story, whereas this is just an attitude.
This one. He's more action. He's more and there's another person. It's not just Thanos. You got a teammate. The colors are better on this one, and this one looks more like metal and realistic. That kind of just looks like, I mean, it looks real, but this one looks realer. And there's more detail.
I thought you didn't like detail.
If it's better detail than that, then it's better detail. That's my logic.
I like this one. I like that he's like standing and kind of like moving. This guy's just kind of like, and I like that it has the girlfriend, which I didn't know was his girlfriend. Did they show her before?
She has her own series of movies, you know, Final Destination.
This one gets my vote. Yeah. Bye. I'm back.
Okay guys, so there you have it. It looks like XM Studios' Thanos and Lady Death is the clear winner in this household. Sideshow Thanos on Throne is still an amazing piece. However, it doesn't match the detail and intensity of this big guy. Anyway, I'm curious to know what you guys think. Make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. And if you like this sort of content, make sure to check out my other channel, DT's Geek Show, for more statue and comic book unboxings. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.